Mr. Leonard, please welcome. Well, welcome once again. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Okay, so first of all, let's hear some of your business background, professional background, some sort of your professional ID.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, nice to see you all. My name is Levit. I'm a chairman of steering committee of ONVIF, and also I'm holding a position at Axis Communications. As you know, ONVIF is a member-driven company, so members are the ones who drive the development in ONVIF and drive the participation. So on behalf of Axis Communications, where I'm working, I'm heading up steering committee.
Okay, so what do you do when you're not working? Some parts of your private life, maybe we can hear something.
Absolutely.
How do you relax?
Well, it's not much of relaxing when you have 4 kids.
Four kids, congratulations.
Yes. Thank you very much. So that occupies a lot of my time. Apart from that, love everything that have engine inside, so I drive motorcycle.
Really?
Drive car and
what
drive
kind
boat.
of motorcycle?
It's a cruiser.
Okay,
Yeah.
cruiser.
Yeah.
It's like some kind of chopper.
It's
yeah.
something in between a sport one and
okay. We're gonna not have a commercial of the motorcycle.
No.
They're
That's
not our
what we do.
sponsors.
No.
Okay. Let's go back to the business. How has your experience with Axis impacted your perception of ONVIF and its potential?
So what I do in Axis is related with our offering to system integrators. And when you talk to system integrators, one of the biggest problems that majority of integrators raise, and that's actually confirmed by previous speakers,
Mr.
and also
Kulosic, yes, you were mentioning that.
Yeah. And also by the integrators that I met at the fair, that things are not always connected to each other the way it should. So there is always a problem of interoperability, and the devices that doesn't really talk the same language with the system it's supposed to be connected to. And coming from the world where we are trying to make life of system integrators easier, one of the ways of doing that is actually working on the standards and implementing specifications that help integrators to work in a more efficient way, integrating devices to the system in an efficient way and in a way that both device and system understand each other much better.
So what do you bring to the table as a key experience from this segment of your professional career?
So I have an engineer background, so I'm a hardcore engineer from the beginning, but moving slowly towards more commercial.
What does it mean, hardcore engineer?
From the education to the experience, developing testing systems. So I do understand the pain, both from the manufacturer point of view, developer point of view, but also from integrators and user point of view. And obviously now I'm working with the video surveillance industry, and Axis is one of the manufacturers very famous in this industry. So I bring that experience as well, alongside with my experience from management positions and commercial positions and so on.
What do you think? Is it harder to be a manager or an engineer?
Well,
what's more?
It's different. It's different because
different skills also.
It's
right?
also different skills, but it's different responsibilities. And it's not necessarily that engineers have less responsibilities. It's almost other way around. So it's different challenges for different roles, and it's very interesting to see that in our industry you have a lot of experts that have been in the industry for many years, and they prefer to maintain their position as subject matter experts and become, really professional engineers rather than growing in career path.
Okay. What are the roles of the committees and working groups in achieving ONVIF's mission?
So, to give you a brief introduction how ONVIF is set up, and again, it's totally a member-driven organization. So,
how many members do you have?
We have over 500 members today. Okay. So it's 500 companies around the globe that's active in the security industry. Different companies software manufacturers, hardware manufacturers, system integrator, cloud providers, big companies that want to contribute to interoperability within this segment. So the way ONVIF is set up is by different committees. So we have 4 different committees. We have steering committee, which I'm representing here, and this committee is responsible for overall organization, budget, all the boring stuff. Also,
boring stuff.
Yeah.
What is boring stuff?
Budgeting, numbers, yeah. But also we're responsible for maintaining the rules of membership and maintaining, the organizational structure of ONVIF. We have a technical committee, and if you compare that to the normal development organization, technical committee is something that you probably would call R&D. This is where your engineers are. This is where people working with hardcore specifications. So this is where the specification work is going on, and so on.
Is it hard to find hardcore specifications among workers, people?
So the structure is set up in a way that it's kind of volunteer. So volunteering organization. So the company that want to be active, they nominate people who want to do that. Okay. So it's not like you can pick someone and say, you know what, you're going to do that. You need to be that type of person.
So you cannot just apply for a job?
No, that's again members nominating their representatives to participate in that work. So that is a technical committee. Then we have technical services committee, and I would say that again, if we do a parallel to a normal development organization, the technical services committee would be something like product management. This is where you take, all the good stuff that your engineering team done and package that in a way that market would understand. Then we have communication committee, and that's a little bit of a unique thing for ONVIF compared to other standardization organizations. So communication committee have a task to communicate and market our work. So one of the cornerstones that ONVIF stands on is communication of our work, and this is a duty of communication committee. So this is again in the normal organization that would be a marketing function.
Okay.
So and then in each committee you have working group. This is where the actual work is done. So committees is more organizational subject, but the work is done in the working group. And if we do again for the last time, parallel to the normal organization, that would be your projects.
Okay. So what's the impact of the current technological trends on the desire to achieve interoperability among the market players?
So several times during the day, several speakers was mentioning different trends, and we have edge compute. So the edge device is becoming more powerful. That brings analytics. And that brings capabilities of AI algorithms to be executed on the edge. We also have a lot of cloud vendors that stepping into to security.
How do you feel about cloud systems and services?
I think it's a fantastic asset for the industry, and it's a fantastic opportunity for a lot of players to really do something groundbreaking, to utilize tools that they haven't had before. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity for the industry to develop and evolve.
Tell us something about the open systems versus closed ones.
Yeah, it's also a very interesting topic to discuss. We've seen historically, majority of innovation starts with closed systems, because this is the easiest way for manufacturer or developer to come to the actual realization of the use case. But once you reach a critical mass, and this has been confirmed by several speakers today, once you reach a critical mass, you want to have openness, you want to have an open ecosystem, you want to have open platforms, you want to have standards that used to be, to provide flexibility for connectivity between different devices and parts of your system. So I think I wouldn't say that we should see open versus closed as a kind of problematic
or confrontation,
war.
yeah.
But it's rather an evolution. It's rather a normal course of evolution that we see on the market, and I mean both have a right to coexist, and they serve different purposes.
ONVIF relies on the use of profiles. What's the role of these in ensuring that devices can talk to each other?
Yeah.
What's the difference between profiles and add-ons?
Thank you. So if we talk about specifications, ONVIF have thousands of specifications. That's really a lot. And it's quite difficult to grasp whether you use a right part of the specification to perform a certain task. So to make it easier for people to understand how we package the specification, the concept of profiles been introduced. So profiles is a subset of specifications that solve a specific use case. So if we compare to the language, that's a set of sentences you need to do to explain a certain meaning. We have a number of profiles today that are active, and once profile is created, it's meant to be there until it's deprecated. So once it's in use, it's existing, and you can declare conformancy to the profile by self-certification program that we allow with our test tools. But there is one drawback in that. So as I said, once profile has been created, it's quite big and it takes time. So to overcome that, we introduce the concept of add-ons. As name suggests, it's something on top of the profile. So you need to have a profile, and then you can have an add-on that's a lighter version of this packaging. So ambition with add-ons is to be faster, releasing new specifications to the market, and it's also more flexible. Add-on can be versioned. So for instance, if underlying technology evolved from version A to version B, you can step the add-on, but you cannot change the profile.
Okay.
So add-ons provides more higher pace of development, but also flexibility.
What are the most popular profiles in 2022?
I think if we look at the database today, we would probably see that majority of the products that are conformant with video profiles. It's S and T. But I can tell you that the latest profile we released, one of the latest profiles we released, Profile M, is probably the one that getting most of the popularity over time. So it's really fastest adoption over time that we see. So I checked this morning. I think for Profile M we have over 400 conformant products today in the database, and it's a relatively new profile. So I think it just shows that the analytics that profile helps to communicate is really something that's of interest to the market. So we met the market demand in the very right moment.
Okay, how do you prioritize what gets standardized in the first place?
We don't do prioritization. So it's
why?
Because it needs to be driven by the market. We're going in the direction where the market is. So it's not like we have a great party and thinking, okay, what should we work on? As a member-driven organization, you listen to what your member wants. And again, if member want to standardize something, this is up to this member to drive the standardization activities, and it's all based on consensus. So the areas that we are working on and prioritizing, if you want, it's something that our members bring into the table, and if there is a common consensus about this topic, then it becomes, standardization topic.
Okay. Can you always guarantee that two products that are described as compliant with ONVIF will work together in all situations?
What we guarantee, what we strive for, is that if two products are declared conformant to a specific profile, they will work according to the profile. So that's ensured by a conformance process, and this is a self-certification process. To our members, we provide a test tool for a client or device that users or members can use to verify their products. And once the certification is done, the documentation that ensure that you've done it properly, uploaded to the database. It is open database, so everybody can access that from our website and verify whether the two products that you're trying to connect are really conformant as they claim to be. And again, profiles are subsets of specifications. So conformance means that you implemented that subset according to the specifications.
Okay, how do you see the future?
Bright. So we see a number of trends on the market, and I mean it's no surprise for anyone. We see cloud, we talked about that. We see analytics that driven by both AI capabilities of a lot of devices, evolution of the technology, but also, you know, we see a lot of more powerful chipsets that providing more power to edge devices that want to generate more and more metadata transferred. So I think the future is probably going towards more hybrid systems where you have part of the compute on edge or on premises, part somewhere in the server, in the network infrastructure, but some in the cloud. And this is where we see the challenge. How do we maintain communication between all those different parts?
And the last question is, how do you plan to make your chairmanship to leaving a lasting mark?
Yeah. So I think we live in
how do you plan to be remembered?
Yeah, that's a good one. So I think we live in a very interesting period of time from, of course, geopolitical point of view, what happens on our planet, but also from the technological point of view. And I think what I would personally like to drive within ONVIF is that we're really active and maintain this change and facilitate the change that's required by our industry, and connected to the topics we just discussed, the cloud, analytics, IoT systems, edge compute, and so on. So I think this is what I'm trying to kind of push the organization to look into.
Thank you very much, Mr. Levit. Are there any questions? Ima ko pitanja možda? Neko pitance? I think it was all clear. Thank you very much. It was very educational. Thank you very much.